Namaste and good evening. Let's start our class with the prayers. Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Now let us chant Mahamrityunjaya mantra 3 times to pray for those who are in suffering. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukam Ivavana Mrityor Mukshiyamamrutat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukam Ivavana Mrityor Mukshiyamamrutat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Vardhana Urvarukam Iva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamrutat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Welcome everyone. Today we have the class 15 and today I am speaking from Temple of Compassion Ashram, our ashram in Texas. So that's where I am. This class has seen me in different ashrams. So I started with Seattle, then last 3 classes were from Miami Ashram, Homestead, and now I'm in Temple of Compassion, so Texas. But by God's grace, we have been able to continue. So if you remember in the last classes, we saw how Bharata feels very disturbed that Rama has gone to forest, to he being made a cause for that his mother wanted the kingdom for Bharata. So Bharata was so pained and his devotion to Rama is unparalleled. He decides that the only course of action for him is not to take the kingdom as was suggested by his guru, because his father had given the boon to his mother, but to go to Rama, request him that he should come back to Ayodhya and take the kingdom. And that's what he does. Everybody is very impressed by devotion of Bharata. And Bharata takes the whole army because he wanted to coronate Rama as soon as Rama agrees to coronation in the forest itself. So army and all other ministers and every article which is required for coronation, everything was taken by Bharata. Finally, after traversing a distance, Bharata reaches Rama, and that's what we are seeing. Now, after they pay respects to each other, Rama pays respects to the mothers and his guru, and everybody meets. Bharata is thinking in his mind that how to make this happen, how to make Rama agree to this proposal that he should come back to Ayodhya, take the kingdom. Because Rama had gone to forest to follow the words of his father, Dasharath. He had gone there for 14 years. And he would not do it otherwise. He would not break his promise he would not break his dharma of following the words of his father. So in Bharata's mind, there is a great agitation that how to convince him. What will convince Ram? So he's thinking, if Guru says this thing, if Guru gives him an order, then that also becomes a dharma for Rama. Then Rama will not say no to Guru and will return to Ayodhya. But then he's thinking, why will Guru do that? Why will Guru tell him to do something which is not as per his dharma? Then he's thinking his mother, Kaushalya, if she insists, because now the father is no more, if she insists that he should return, maybe he will return. But then again in his mind, why will mother tell Lord Rama to return? And he says, he is thinking about himself. If I request, then on the other hand, his thought comes, where do I count? I am merely servant. Why would he listen to me? And I am not only a servant, I am in such a bad position right now that I have become the cause of all this misery. So where do I count? So this is the always a quality of all the devotees, the humility. So Bharata is a devotee unparalleled. Even Rama says there is nobody like him. And always considers himself. He doesn't count anywhere. He doesn't have any devotion to Rama. And that is always when devotion arises in the heart, person becomes so humble. So then this he goes to see Rama to think that what to do. Then in the meantime, he gets a call from Vasishtha, Guru Vasishtha, that Guru is calling. So he goes to him. So what is happening there? Everybody is in a meeting. Guru Vasishtha with all the people who had come from Ayodhya. Not Rama, Lakshmana and Sita are not part of that, but all the other people. And they are basically, so everybody is sitting there. Bharata is also invited. And Guru Vasishtha is saying like, okay, what is the next course of action for us? We all understand that it will be in the best interest of all if Rama agrees to go back to Ayodhya. The problem will be solved. But Lord Rama is Lord Rama. He will not deviate. So what can be done? So he asks Bharata, please suggest something. What do you think? And Bharata says, with you being present here, what can I suggest? You are Guru and you are so wise. Whatever you suggest, that will happen. So you please guide us. So Vasishtha thinks about it and he says, look, and this is, he says, I'm a little hesitant to suggest a solution, but what if you two brothers, Bharata and Shatrughna, you take the assignment of forest instead of Rama and let Rama, Lakshmana and Sita return to Ayodhya? If maybe we can go with this proposal and maybe it might work. And when he suggests that, Bharata is so extremely happy. And he says, what to talk of 14 years? I can go for the whole life if it can bring some joy to Rama. Everybody was very impressed to see the devotion of Bharata. And then Bharata requests his Guru Vasishtha that if you are serious about your proposal, please do make it work. So then everybody kind of agrees to this course of action. Mothers were neither very happy nor very unhappy because they would gain Rama and Lakshmana, but they would lose Bharata and Shatrughna in the forest. Nevertheless, everybody, so to speak, thought that being the best course to suggest, if that might work. So they go to Rama. The whole team, Guru Vasishtha and everybody, they go to Rama and everybody sits there. So first Guru Vasishtha tells Rama for the Lord himself, whatever you do, whatever you say is dharma. that is the right course of action. So please suggest a way out of this impasse. Everybody is miserable on account of your absence from Ayodhya. So please suggest a way out of this. What should be done? And then Rama says, you are the preceptor, you are the guru. You know what should be done. And I give you my word that whatever you say, everybody will follow. I will follow. So you please suggest. You are the mind of wisdom. You know what is the right thing to do. And then when Lord Rama says like that, Vasishtha says, Rama, what you say is true. I know dharma, I can suggest a solution. But looking at Bharata's devotion, it has robbed me of my wits. I am not able to think of anything. Only thing which I can think of is devotion of Bharata. So all I suggest is that please honor what Bharata wants. And when Rama heard that, he felt very happy. He felt Guru is praising, Guru is so happy on his younger brother Bharata. He felt very happy in his heart. And he says, yes, of course, let us ask Bharata, what does he want? And he tells Bharata that please tell without any hesitation. And Guru also tells, oh Bharata, now you can tell without any hesitation whatever is in your heart. Now when Bharata sees that things taking the turn in this manner, that all the responsibility now have come on his shoulders, he feels a little bit overwhelmed. He says, in this meeting, you are my Lord himself who is sitting here. Guru is here. And I am like count for nothing. I am count for nobody. And you are asking me to give the solution, to suggest the solution. Not only am I no, I have been in such a negative state that it is on my account all this misery has come upon you. Who I think would be more wretched, more unfortunate than I am. And Lord Rama then consoles Bharata. Bharata, in my eyes, there is nobody as great as you are. And then he says this verse, Nath sapath pitu charan dohai, bhayau na bhuvan bharat sambhai. He says, I swear by my father that in the whole world there has been no brother like Bharata. And then he says, oh Bharata, whatever you say, that will be the good thing to do. So and after saying that, Rama became silent. Then Bharata says, मिठियई पाप प्रपंच सब अखिल अमंगल भार लोक सुजस पर लोक सुख सुमिरत नाम तुम्हार. With the very invocation of your name, all sins and error and all evils are eliminated. That is the power of your name. So, in my mind, the best thing would be to follow your order. Rama says, look, and this is a very important verse here, and you see how much importance Rama gives to Bharata. So he says here, तात तुम्हि मैं जानऊँ करो काह असमंजस के राखु राम सत्य मोहि त्यागी तनु परिहरिहु प्रेम मन लागी तासु बचन में तत मन सोचू तेहि ते अधिक तुम्हार संकोचू. तापर गुरु मोहि आय सुदीनः, अवसि जो कहु चहु सोई कीन्हा। मनु प्रसन्न करि सकुच तज, कहु सोई आज। सत्य संध रघुवर बचन, सुनि भा सुखी समाज. So he says, Lord Rama says, I know exactly what is in heart. I know it very well. But I am in a little bit perplexed state of mind. I have a little bit, I am in two frame of mind. Why? Because King, our father, he kept his word. He kept the truth. And he allowed me to go to the forest. To the extent that he could not tolerate the separation from me, and he gave up his body. So much he respected his word, the truth. So if I go back on his word, I feel quite perturbed. I feel a little agitated. But then he says, Tehite adhik tumhar sankochu. But if I do not follow your word, Rama is telling to Bharat that what you want, if I don't follow your words, follow your wish, I'm even more disturbed by that. And on top of that, even the Guru has given the command that whatever Bharata says, let it happen. So I'll definitely do whatever you want. So you tell without any hesitation in your heart that what should be done, and I'll do that. And everybody knew that whatever Lord Rama says, he does that. So everybody became very happy, thinking now Bharata will just say that we want to return to Ayodhya, take the kingdom. So everybody felt very happy when they heard Rama's words. So now Bharata says, and he says this beautiful thing here. लखि सब विधि गुरु स्वामी सनेहु, मिटे क्षोभ नहीं मन संदेहु। अब करुणा कर कीजिए सोई, जनहित प्रभु चित क्षोभ न होई। जो सेवक साहेब ही संकोची, निज हित चाहि तासुमति पोची। सेवक हित साहेब सेवकाई, करे सकल सकल सुख लोभ बिहाई। स्वारथनाथ फिरे सब ही का, किए रजाई कोटि विधिनी का. So Bharata here says beautiful thing. So he says, now my mind is at peace. I was feeling so raged, so guilty in my mind. Now I have found that my Guru is supporting me, and you are who are my master, my Lord. You are also supporting me. You both are affectionate to me in every way. So I have no doubt now left in my mind. I am at peace right now. I'm somewhat at peace. And then he says that you are telling me that I should tell in whatever is in my mind. And you have also expressed that you will be greatly disturbed if you don't follow my words. But I am thinking I am just a servant. You are the Lord. You are the master. If a servant says something, if a servant does something which creates the hesitation or disturbance in the mind of the master, what kind of servant is it? What kind of servant who creates the embarrassment for the master? Is that right person to be called a servant? So he says, putting the master in embarrassment, one who wants his own desire to be fulfilled, he is really of a very unsound intellect. He is not a fit person to be served. He is not fit person to do service. The best course of a servant is that just to serve the master without any personal consideration for his own, whatsoever it may be. And then he says in a very beautiful ways, everything what he wanted in both ways. And this is a amazing ways. So he says here, स्वारथुनाथ फिरे सब ही का, किए रजाई कोटि विधिनी का, यह स्वार्थ परमारथ सारू, सकल सुकृत फल सुगति सिंगारू, देव एक बिनती सुनि मोरी, उचित होई तस करब बहोरी, तिलक समाज साज सब आना, करिय सुफल प्रभु जो मनु माना, यही विधि प्रभु प्रसन्न मन होई, करुणा सागर कीजिए सोई, अब कृपाल मोहि सो मत भावा, सकुच स्वामी मन जाए न पावा, प्रभु पद सपथ कहऊँ सत्य भाऊ, जग मंगल हित एक उपाऊ, प्रभु प्रसन्न मन सकुच तजी, जो जेहि आय सुदेव, सो सिर धर धर कर ही सब मिटी, अनट अनरे अबरे. So he says, it will fulfill the wish of everybody if you, my Lord, is willing to return. But it will be a million times more beneficial to every one of us if we follow what you want, if we follow your orders. This is what I consider as the essence of fulfilling one's own wish versus what is the right thing to do. And then he says, I have one request, but you please do what you feel is the right thing to do. Everything has been brought here for your coronation here. If you want to honor it, please do so. But that in whichever manner, my Lord, you are pleased, please do so. Whatever pleases you, please do so. And then he says, I do not want to do anything which will cause any embarrassment to you. That is the only thing which is the dear to my heart. And then he says, I really tell you in my heart that there is only one course which is good for the whole world. That you please be pleased, and without any hesitation, whatever orders you give, everybody does that, and that will be actually the best course of action. So you see how Bharata's mind, the whole thing in his mind, it was so much that Lord Rama returns for his coronation, accepts, and everybody will be happy. Bharata would be supremely happy. He was ready to go to forest for the whole duration or whole life also. But when he saw that Rama is so kind to him, that he says, I am even ready to go back on my words which I have given to my father, but I'll fulfill your wish. He became in a very strange situation. He realizes that he is merely a servant. To serve alone is his duty, not to fulfill his desire. However beautiful and noble it is. And he realizes that aspect. And he says that no would I put you into a situation of embarrassment. We all get benefited if we follow what you say. And this is the statement, thy will be done, which we also hear from Bible. This time when I was discussing this meeting was, they got the news that somebody came and says, Janaka has come. Janaka has come here. If you remember, Janaka is father of Sita, the king of Mithila. So he is the father of Sita, that is Rama's father-in-law. He has come here. So everybody became very happy. But in the mind of Lord Rama, he became a little bit anxious that what will happen if he asks me to return. Because see, Lord Rama is always willing to keep others' wish. He also wants to fulfill others' wish. That is God's nature. He doesn't have any preference of his own. He was following his father's word because that was his dharma. But at this time, if Janaka says this, because Janaka is like his father-in-law, how will he handle the situation? So anyway, that meeting got dispersed. So Janaka's sons had brought this information that King Janaka has come. And then they were a little curious, how did Janaka knew about these whole things? And they said, well, what happened is that after this thing happened, that Kaikeyi asked the boons, Dasharatha, the Lord Rama went to forest, Dasharatha died, then somehow he got the news that this has happened in Ayodhya, that Dasharatha is no more, Rama, Sita and Lakshmana have gone to forest. And he had not all the details. So he did not know what is happening. He found it very painful, very strange. In his mind, he wasn't sure whether he should go to Ayodhya immediately or not, because he did not know what is in Bharata's mind. Who all people are supporting this? Rama has gone to forest. Who all people are not supporting? So he was not sure. So what he did, he sent some of his best spies to Ayodhya to find out what is happening there, what all people are doing. So spies went, and they went incognito. When they went, Bharata was already there. He had come from his maternal uncle's place. And we all go to bring Rama back in the morning. So immediately the spies, all these people, they went to Janaka and told him the whole thing, that what had exactly happened and what is the current state of affairs. When Janaka heard that, he felt very happy, and he decided immediately also to proceed to forest to see Rama and Bharata and everybody else. So he came very quickly, and he had arrived now. So now both of them met, both of the groups met, they all met each other. Janaka and his wife, Sita's parents, they met Sita. They also met Sita's mother-in-laws. So everybody is meeting after a long time, and in this state when everybody is in the forest. But they were happy and sad at both at the same time. Lot of emotions. If you read how the poet Tulsidas has portrayed this, it's pretty amazing. Lot of emotions are there. Lot of people, tears in their eyes, both out of happiness and sadness. There is also this sort of anxiety about the uncertainty. What will happen? Will Rama agree to return or not? So they all are meeting, and then Sita's mother, she comes to pay her respects to Sita's mother-in-law, Kaushalya. So they are talking, they are meeting each other. And then Kaushalya says that, look, even though it will be good if Rama returns, but in my mind, that is not such a big deal. Kaushalya is saying this. He says he's following his dharma and he will be okay. But I am more concerned about Bharata. His love knows no bounds. I do not know how he will survive without Rama if Rama does not return. So she tells Sita's mother, Sunaina, her name is Sunaina, Janaka's wife, that Can you discuss it with your husband that is it possible that Lakshmana can return and instead of Lakshmana, Bharata can go with Rama to forest to spend 14 years? Because there was no word for Bharata to has to go to forest, for Lakshmana to go to forest. Lakshmana just followed Rama because he could not live without Rama. But Kaikeyi's boon was only for Rama. So Sunaina says that, okay, I'll talk to my husband and see what does he say. So she goes back, tells her husband that this is what is the status. Can you do something? And Janaka says, look, people consider me a jnani. People consider me a realized person. And it is so. But when I look at the love of Bharata, my knowledge is kind of not helping me at all. I do not understand how to, his devotion is so unparalleled. And he says that only Rama understands Bharata's devotion. Even he cannot describe it in words. That is the state of Bharata. He is the limit. He is the epitome of love and devotion. Even though Rama is the epitome of equanimity, but Bharata is the epitome of love and devotion. For Bharata, all the happiness either in this world or next world don't even cross his mind even in the dream. All he wants, Lord Rama, his happiness. That's how I perceive Bharata's philosophy, Bharata's way of living. So, whatever Rama wants, Bharata will not go back on that. No way, whatever may come. So, please do not worry. Everything will turn out to be okay, whatever it is. So, in that way, now both the people from both the kingdoms are there and they all are meeting. So finally a huge meeting takes place. That what to do? I mean, because Rama says, look, you all people have come here in the forest. There is no proper place to stay, no proper food. Everybody is having the difficulties, everybody is suffering. So now they have met and it's good. You both of the parties, you should return. And so they decide, okay, what to do. So they sort of had a big meeting. People from both the parties, they are having the meeting, and finally it comes to Bharata only. So everybody sort of says, Guru Vasishtha, you please suggest a solution. He says, Janaka, you are a realized person. You are known as the king of discrimination. So Janaka is always very famous as a realized person, even though he is a king. He is not like somebody. He is handling all the duties of a king. Yet he is a jnani. He is a man of realization. And then there are some other sages also there. So everybody is there, but nobody is able to figure out what should be suggested. So they left it to Bharata finally in this big meeting also. So then Bharata is now looking at the whole situation. And he's saying that now he is realizing and his own thing and humble. I'm so humbled by your love that I feel on the one hand, it was a mistake that I came here because you have come here following your father's words. You know what is the best. And I have come here to take you back. And you have given me so much importance out of this. Instead of scolding me for this thing, you have even taken it as a token of my love and affection and devotion. So you are like you only, and I am like me. There is nobody who will back on the words of Ram. And of course, I cannot, but I tried to do that apparently. And out of your love, you even gave the name, gave it as a devotion, that I am so devoted to you. And here is a very famous verse from Manas. सहज स्नेह स्वामी सेवकाई, स्वार्थ छल फल चारि बिहाई, अज्ञा समन सुसाहिब सेवा, सुप्रसाद जन पावे देवा. So he is saying that it is to serve my master with affection, without any guile, without any other thought, without any personal interest, without thinking of what will happen, without even thinking of realization. That is the best thing to do. And this thing, Agya Samna Susahib Seva. So many people ask how to serve the Guru, how to serve the master. And here Bharata is saying that Agya Samna Susahib Seva. The greatest service to a master is to obey his orders. That is the service. He is not saying to cook very beautiful food for him, to serve him in any other way, just to follow his wish, his orders unconditionally. That is his service. That is the greatest service to a master. And this verse was often quoted by a great sage called Uriya Baba. He happened about 100 years ago. He left his body about 70 years ago. So he happened like between 100 and 150 years. He was born in about 140, 50 years ago. Very famous, considered a realized master by most everyone. He was living in Vrindavan, even though he was originally from Odisha, from Puri. So his name was Uriya Baba. He would always quote this verse whenever somebody asks how to serve him. Agya Samna Susahib Seva. So here Bharata says this thing, that this is the greatest service. Let your servant, that is Bharata himself saying, obtain this favor in the form of an order. So please give me an order. What should be done? So Bharata leaves it at that my dharma as a servant is to obey your orders unconditionally, without any personal thought. So please give me that order. I want to have that as favor from you. So Lord Rama now, so as I told you earlier, that culture was there that youngsters will not speak until asked. And Lord Rama is in this meeting where his guru, his father-in-law, many other saints and sages are sitting there. And Bharata is now addressing him that obey his orders, Lord Rama's orders. But considering the situation, considering the love and devotion of Bharata, he says, look, I see your devotion, and I'm going to be a little bit difficult, tough for you, because one can be tough with those people whom he loves the most. So this is a difficult time. Father is no more. I am following the words of the Father. I am in for it. So you understand what I want. Please go back. Take charge of Ayodhya. Take charge of kingdom. Protect Ayodhya. Till the time I come. So doesn't say that like you the same state. Of course, Bharata will never accept it. So he says, only till I come back. We all need to share this difficulty, all four brothers of us. So two of us are here in the forest, following the orders of Father. You two also, it's not an easy time for you. It's a difficult time for you. You two handle that difficulty, that maintain and protect Ayodhya. So please, so Lord Rama tells in this manner. When Bharata heard this, he felt extremely at peace, because by now he had decided that whatever Rama wants, that should happen. So even though Rama gave the same order as was the situation in the beginning, but this whole thing, it had changed Bharata so much. He had decided, so he became extremely peaceful, and he had no more vacillation, difficulty, confusion is in his mind. He bowed down to him, and he says, I feel as happy as I am accompanying you by hearing your order so clearly. Now, give me some support so that for these 14 years, I can follow your orders. And so that I can carry out what you want me to carry out. And he says, because of me, everybody went through a lot of difficulties. Everybody who came here, even though everybody who went there, they were very happy because they saw Rama. But Bharata is always so humble, always thinking himself at the lowest, that everybody suffered on my account, and yet you accepted whatever I wanted. So give me some teachings, give me some support till I follow your orders, till the time you come back. So one of the teaching which Lord Rama is very beautiful. How a king should behave, how any administrator, any person who is in the position of power and authority, how should that be? How should that person behave? So he says, Mukhiya mukh so chahiye, khan pan kahu ek, palai poshai sakal ang, tulsi sahit vivek. So he gives the example of the body. In the body there is mouth. All the food goes to the mouth. So he says the chief should be like the mouth, that all the power is to him, all the power is coming to him. Everybody is coming to him to take the orders. He is giving the orders to everybody. He is telling what to do, what not to do. But just like, even though mouth takes all the food, but it gives the nourishment to each and every body part. It doesn't keep to himself. Similarly, the chief should be that with a lot of wisdom and discrimination should protect and nourish every single part of the kingdom, even though all the powers are flowing to him and through him. And then Bharata is still not very satisfied. He still is looking for some support, some physical support. So Lord Rama gave this teaching, and Lord Rama understood that Bharata wanted some support. So what he did, even though there were so many people and Lord Rama was very hesitant, he took his sandals, wooden sandals. So people use wooden sandals. Even today, many saints and sages, they use wooden sandals. So Lord Rama gave his sandals to Bharata as a token of support for Bharata to sustain till he comes back. So Bharata was so happy to receive those sandals, and he put it on his head. And then he requests Lord Rama that I have one wish, that hold this place, this Chitrakuta where Lord Rama was staying. It has become very holy by your presence. You have walked here. You have gone to different places. Those have become like very holy places of pilgrimage. And already Chitrakuta is a place of pilgrimage. There were already places. So Lord Rama has gone to those places also. So Bharata had a desire to visit those places. So Lord Rama, of course, tells him, of course, you please go. So Bharata goes there, spends a couple of days there, visits all these places. Some of the people also who had come with him, they also go to those places. And then they all decide, both the parties, to leave. They were not very happy leaving Rama, but considering the situation and Lord Rama's wish, they decided to return. So Janaka, when they are returning, he went to Ayodhya also with Bharata. So he set it because Janaka has a lot of experience in administration. There, Dashratha was no more. So the training from king to the successor, that did not happen in this case. So Janaka, even though Bharata is otherwise trained as a prince, is normally trained, but Janaka still went there. He made sure that everything is settled okay, and a few days he stayed in Ayodhya, and after that he returned to his own kingdom. What Bharata did was, and here it is. So first Tulsidas is giving one simile here. सानुज सीय समेत प्रभु राजत परन कुटीर भगत ज्ञान वैराग्य जन सोहत धरे शरीर. So now the Sita, Rama and Lakshmana, they are left in Chitrakuta, and he is saying that they are staying there like bhakti, devotion, dispassion and knowledge, as if they have appeared and they had taken a body. So this devotion has taken a body, knowledge has taken a body, knowledge or wisdom, or dispassion has taken a body. So here, wisdom or knowledge is Lord Rama, devotion is Sita, and dispassion or detachment is Lakshmana. So शीस बड़ी नक बोले दिन स्वाद सिंहासन प्रभु पादुका बैठा दे निरुपाद नित पूजत प्रभु पावरी प्रीति न हृदय समाद मागे मागे आयस करत राज काज बहु भांति. So what Bharata does here is, so he does not sit on the throne of Ayodhya. He puts those sandals, wooden sandals of Ram on the throne, and he becomes a representative of that. So Bharata never took the kingdom even for a day. In his mind, it's always Lord Rama who is the king of Ayodhya. So in his physical absence, his sandals are representing Lord Rama. So in his mind, it's always Lord Rama who is the king of Ayodhya. Bharata is just his servant, his representative to maintain the administration. Another thing Bharata did was, he did not stay in the palace. He created a very small hut, just like Rama had in the forest. And he did not wear any of the royal attire. He wore the same kind of attire as Lord Rama was wearing. That is the attire of a mendicant. Very simple. And he would not eat the royal food. He will not eat the tasty food. He will be almost like fasting or eating very simple food, which is suitable for a mendicant. So he lived his life like a mendicant, even though he was the king, technically speaking, of such a great kingdom, so such a prosperous kingdom. But he lived just like a mendicant. He did not enjoy any sense object during all these years. But he did perform his duty beautifully. So always, whenever there is a difficulty or whenever he needs guidance, he will ask the guidance from the sandals himself. And that's how he was conducting the administration. He was managing the affairs of the state. And then Tulsidas is saying, तुलसी जो सादर सुनहि सिय राम पद प्रेम अवस होई भव रस बिरति. Tulsidas is saying that this episode of Bharata's devotion, Bharata's love, is so holy that those who read or hear this story with sincerity and regularity, they do attain the love for Lord Rama and Mother Sita, and they will get their detachment from this world. In other words, they will automatically be propelled on the path of spirituality. And this episode really is so amazing. It is considered one of the gems of Manas. it's a long episode. We finished this episode, and along with this we also finish the second book, second chapter, Ayodhya Kanda. So in our next class we will start Aranya Kanda. So Ayodhya Kanda is finished with this episode, and this is just a very amazing episode. You see the Bharata's humility, his love, his devotion, and the way Tulsidas ji has described it. You will always feel tears flowing from your eyes. So with this, I conclude the class for today. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to write in the chat window. If there are no questions or comments, will conclude with the class with the prayers. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kasyit dukha bhag bhavet. Om Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you everyone.